Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Kept you off beat there. Because I'm not a drummer and I don't know how to stay on beat with anything. Except beatboxing. I can box the beat. Hello, and welcome back to Chatz, a television podcast. Technically, we're in book 4, the Chatz Room, but for today, we're not doing a Chatz Room episode. Well, not exactly. For those not in the know, Magellan is out of the country right now. He's on a little vacation with the school kids, and I wanted to record something so we'd have something on the feed. And I enlisted my good compatriot, it's Ryan.
Hello, it's me.
Ryan is my co-host and co-creator of Fireside Friends, another very good podcast that you should listen to.
Mm-hmm.
We started that show, God, almost going on 2 years?
Yeah,
2 years ago?
it's 2 years this month.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm old. It's a pop culture podcast. You should listen to that. It's at firesidefriends.net. But that's not what we're doing here today. We're here to talk about some pop culture.
Yeah.
Because it's Chatz. You know, it's technically still in the spirit of it if we talk about a thing that's related to, I don't know, investigation, reporting. Basically, we wanted an excuse to talk about Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
Ryan and I have been playing Phoenix Wright through for the first time. Basically, this is for people who don't know, it's a video game franchise. It's a multi-game. I think there are like 6 games in now at least.
Yeah, there's a lot. I saw a post. So we're okay. We should say that we're playing the 3DS remaster of like the original Phoenix Wright games.
The first 3.
The first 3, and then but they have a different art style than the originals, right? The original had like pixel art, and this has more.
Yeah, they drew the art this time.
They drew the art. I saw one on Twitter that was like a 3D model of Phoenix Wright, and it looked wrong.
It looked illegal.
It looked like It looked like Sonic Dreams Collection level. Like this shouldn't exist.
This is a source filmmaker texture that they brought in illegally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think the 5th one is when they first decided to use polygonal models, which apparently that game is very good. But whatever. Right now, Ryan and I have been playing the trilogy, which, like we said, it's a remake. It's a remake of a remake, actually.
Right, because it was on GBA first, and then it came out on DS, but then it never came out on DS in the States, so they just brought that over. Right.
This trilogy didn't come out, but the Phoenix Wright games were out on DS. Yes.
Yeah.
And the GBA ones never came out in the States.
Yeah.
And then this trilogy came out a couple years ago, and I think it's a good way to play it if you have a 3DS. I mean, we'll just say from now we both are enjoying Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
Mostly.
This is my first time playing through, and then this is your second time.
Right, because the company that makes it, whose name I can't remember right now.
Capcom.
Capcom, you're right, Capcom. They did a lot of like weird stuff with phone ports around like 8 or 9 years ago. So they actually like made they put this trilogy on iPhone.
Okay.
Well, they put the first one on iPhone, and then they later put the HD trilogy on iPhone. So you can actually buy this also on your phone, which is kind of cool because they let you like pay for it case by case also, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Although, like, there's such a through line, like, why would you only play one case and then stop, I guess?
I don't know. They're offering, like, Life is Strange on iPhone, too.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's per episode, though. I don't know.
I bet you can probably pay for that by episode.
But the real answer is they want your money, so, like...
Yes. And none of them you can tell, because none of them use touch controls until the last case of the first one, because the final case, the 4th, I think, 5th, whatever, case of the first Phoenix Wright game was exclusive to the DS remake.
Right.
And it shows. That one's got a lot of, like, investigation, like tappy stuff, if I remember correctly. But it's been a while, so my memory's hazy. I love Phoenix Wright. This first game is my jam.
Mm-hmm.
What have you thought about it so far?
So far, I like it. So you're further than me. I've done
a little bit.
I've done the first 3 because the first chapter is really short, and I forget
extremely short.
I forget that's a chapter. So like I finished the 3rd chapter, which is like the second like big case that you get. And I thought the pacing in that was pretty slow and uninteresting, but it sounds like it gets better from there.
Definitely.
But the general idea and like what you're doing, like investigating cases and like going around and like picking up evidence and like interviewing people, all that is my shit, and I like it a lot. I like how over the top it is. I like, just the general idea of like outsmarting the plaintiff and stuff like that. I think that's just fun. I think all the characters have been what's his name? The lawyer helping out in the next chapter.
Miles Edgeworth?
Edgeworth, yes.
My boyfriend?
Also very good names. Miles.
Oh, everybody's got good names. Larry Butts,
Miles Edgeworth, the judge.
It's just Judge. He's in the whole franchise and his name never goes beyond Judge. Maybe his name is just Judge. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. April, May.
Mia and Maya Fey.
April, May. Yeah, it's a lot.
Every witness has like a pun name too. Yeah, it's very good.
Oh, what's the tech guy that like speaks in text language?
Oh God, what is his name? I will find it. He's got a really bad name. You're right.
Yeah, but he's ridiculous. The only thing that like I'm really hating is the treatment of women, because all of the women in this game are either like objectified or victim blamed or painted as a crazy woman, and it's really troublesome. But everything else about it I like.
It is a bummer because like Maya is great. Maya, your sort of partner, who is possessed by the spirit of her dead older sister.
Sure. So, but okay, I agree that she's cool. She gets talked down to a lot by Phoenix, which is dumb. Like specifically the episode that I just did was like investigating a murder that happened on a set of a samurai show, like a samurai kid show or whatever. And she's enthusiastic because she's a fan, and the whole time Phoenix is just like, she's crazy. She likes this crazy kid show. Oh my God, like chill out, dude. It's a TV show.
She's like obsessed with this cartoon, and it's like, Phoenix, you're my age.
Like. Yeah, and they make it a point like Phoenix is 24 and Maya is like 17 or something, right? But
I think so.
But then her sister possesses her because her sister dies in the second episode.
It's pretty fucked. I forgot.
She dies. But then her so there's like a spiritual aspect to how the sisters work, where when it's plot convenient, the like smart like lawyer sister, because she's like a lawyer, she like works with Phoenix,
or she's his boss,
right? And then she would possess her sister so she can help you with a case. I can't.
But again, only when it's convenient.
Only when it's convenient to the plot. But then when she comes up, it's just like, yep, those are her boobs, just spelled out, well defined.
Yeah.
And it's just, chill out, game. Stop.
It's a very titty game. Yeah, that's true. Salmonella is the name of the director, by the way.
Yeah. Oh fuck, Salmonella.
Yeah. Sal, first name, last name Manila. He's just a big nerd. But anyways, yeah, I think the thing with Maya is like she's played as like immature, but then the joke is that Phoenix, especially in this game, because this is like his first outing since becoming like a licensed lawyer,
right.
He just kind of sucks. He just like fumbles into success over and over again. And it's played for comedy, and it's often like, oh, he like legitimately thought of something really clever. Even over the course of the game, you're watching him get more confident with everything. But like, I think it's the case before the one, like the one before the one you're doing right now, where I remembered, like, from having played it before, you know, you were talking about how when you're doing the courtroom sections, you have to like present evidence and you're interrogating witnesses, and I remembered the key piece of evidence that I needed to win the case immediately.
Right.
The game does not let you present it until he fails and then goes, wait, but actually Mia's ghost tells me to do it, and I was like, that's so stupid.
And even just like doing for the samurai one, even just like the first time I went to the scene of the crime, which like you don't notice the scene of the crime until they flip it halfway through and then they realize that the murder happened somewhere else, etc. I was like, oh, yeah, the spike is dented, that's weird, and I couldn't examine it or do anything with it, and it ends up being the murder weapon essentially, and it was just like, what? Why,
oh shit, you're right.
Why can't I do anything with that? I noticed it in the environment. It's like stuff stuff like that that's really frustrating.
What you realize is no matter how smart you are, and no matter how smart, like, theoretically the courtroom parts will make you feel, you're still like being railroaded through a visual novel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just that there's penalties for failure in the courtroom.
Yeah, you're often guessing what like kind of story they're trying to tell, which is frustrating.
Like the case that before the one you're doing, you have to press every statement. You get like either like broken up into things. You have to press all of them, which means you don't present evidence. You just kind of like ask the person to clarify. They clarify everything, and that's when Phoenix goes, "Oh, there's nothing to find here," and then you can progress.
Right.
And it's like, you're just playing it literally by the script. And I think I told you this over text recently. It feels like something that the games could fix without changing the structure. Like, just give me more correct answers or get rid of fail states.
Right. Get rid of fail states or like eliminate false choices where it's like there's one point in the investigation of the samurai story where you have to so let me back up. The day of the murder, like, there's a vent that is open that is small enough for a child to crawl through if they wanted to. And the guard is like, oh yeah, kids come here sometimes and they come through the vent, and you try to stop it, but what can you do? And then the second day comes around and one of the workers plugs up the hole because it's a fucking crime scene, and of course you're gonna lock shit down. And you can choose to not interact with it. And so I did that because it's a fucking crime scene. And then, like, I spent 30 minutes just, like, wandering around, not knowing what to do, until I looked it up, and you have to go and unclog the fucking vent so the kid can come through so you can talk to the kid. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna play it by the guide now because I can't deal with this. So yeah, I don't know. That stuff's frustrating, but when you do get to the like climax of that case specifically, it gets really good.
Oh my god, it gets so exciting.
Because then you have this really great moment too where you're interviewing the quote-unquote murderer. It's a little muddy, Vasquez. And you're interrogating her as the defense, but then her lawyer starts questioning her too, and like starts being on your side, and like contributes to like your investigation and proving like your client's innocence, and it's really good.
Yeah, it is. That stuff is so exciting. Just like it feels like you're taking part in like a really good TV show.
And this is the part where I was like, oh, this is a little Sorkin-esque. The two lawyers questioning this woman that is guilty in some way, and her like complete like nonchalantness at the whole situation, and being like, I'm gonna outsmart you. I'm always gonna outsmart you, until she doesn't. But that like playful sort of debate, like accusation stuff is really fun.
And it's all very pretty well written too. Like it's not just you are lying about this. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Back and forth. But it's one of those things where like the dialogue is well paced, and it feels like you're listening to real people or like real sort of like anime characters.
Yes, it's very anime paced.
Yeah, and they made a Phoenix Wright anime. I haven't watched it. It's apparently fine. Real briefly, just before I forget, you mentioned the false choices in this game. They kind of reminded me of like Dora the Explorer, where like obviously it's like, do we go to Volcano Mountain or do we stay home? And then they look at the camera for 30 seconds, and it's like, no, fucking obviously you go to Volcano Mountain. That's where the adventure is. Because there are questions where it's like, Phoenix, do you want to give up and let the prosecutor speak, or do you want to press him on this? And it's like, well, you literally should always press on everything. There's no penalty for that.
Do you do the thing? So in this remake, they let you hold down a button and yell the commands. So you can just like yell "hold it" on your 3DS,
or yell objection. I did it like once.
I also did it once, and I was like, all right, fine. I've had my fill.
I'm happy that this worked, but it's got like a weird delay to it. It's bad.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't do it immediately. It like waits to recognize what you said and then does it. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and it's like you only accept one input. I could just go and then it should just take that.
Just someone on a subway train is going
Because I love, that's like my favorite thing about the secret coolest thing about the courtroom cases is when you pick the right evidence, the music cuts out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and then he like slams his hands. There's like 6 animations in this game.
Yeah, and they all look kind of weird.
Yeah, because they're like 3 or 4 frames, but there's enough frames in this remake that it looks janky.
Yeah.
There's like Phoenix slamming his hands on the thing. It's the infamous point. You know, he has like, and he's got like a couple where he looks really awkward and nervous. But they're all, it's almost like you're reading a comic or something. It's just like, look at these nerds animate.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just super charming. And again, coming back to the newsroom, it's all about people like valuing truth and justice, and like, we're gonna do it the right way. Because there's a lot of like, you very quickly meet like corrupt lawyers and lawyers who seem like bad people, but are actually good.
Every climax of this episode before you go to trial is someone in power sending their guards after you and a Detective Gumshoe saving the day. That is literally every episode so far.
Detective Gumshoe's the fucking hero of the whole game secretly.
It's like, oh, everybody's corrupt and they send their guards after you, and you're only saved by the convenience of this cop overhearing the whole thing.
This goofy ass detective with the funny hair.
This goofy detective that really wants to do good, but is a cop.
And but he's a cop. He's so earnest. I feel like I have voices in my head vaguely for everybody. And Gumshoe has like the most vivid, like, hey, Phoenix, how you doing kind of voice.
He's the goofy of this game for sure.
Except he's not dead. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. He died for our sins, Goofy.
We're still on the first game. Who knows?
Right. We don't know if... Oh, God. I know Gumshoe sticks around. All the good characters stick around. That's something I really like, is even... Like, most of the witnesses, obviously, are gone at the end of their cases, but you get the sense that it's a developing world, and
it's a TV
like,
show.
infinite.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's what you need if you want to do this for more than one game and keep it episodic, like have the episodic structure.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of characters and ideas I'm excited to see in the sequels. Like, I know 2 adds the like liar's magical sense thing, where you can see somebody's aura if they're lying or not. There's something like that in 2.
What?
They get really weird.
Huh.
3 has a new rival lawyer. That's the guy you probably have seen. People have like avatars of him on the internet. It's the guy with the funny... He's got like spiky white hair and like Cyclops goggles, or Cyclops visor. If I show you a picture...
Did you just describe a Phoenix Wright character, or fucking like the Jack 2 Dark Jack? He's got white hair and a visor on his head.
Yeah, it's a weird crossover for sure. But that's what it is. No, it's just like some dude. I can't remember his fucking name. yeah, so there's stuff like that. And then 4 is Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, where you play as a young kid who works with Phoenix Wright. But it's not Maya because they're too much of cowards to make a game about Maya.
Right.
And then 5, you're back to playing slightly older, but not old, Phoenix Wright. And then you're with him for a while. And then did like a Layton crossover because this game and Layton, Capcom and Level 5 like were like friends. Like they did like more than one crossover thing. There's even like a crossover anime. It's a pretty deep like hole to fall into. There's a Miles Edgeworth game.
I bet.
Which I need to play. Apparently that one's more because you are playing a prosecuting attorney.
Right.
It's more like you're walking around and like going onto the crime scenes and like investigating stuff. It seems very cool. But yeah, it's really dense. Like, I think the website I used to like look up this game said that this game's about 20 hours long, which is not accurate. The thing is, if you play this game without a guide, it's probably 20 hours long.
Yeah. If you play, you could just kind of blow through it if you want, which is nice.
I highly recommend if anyone hears this and they're like, I want to play Phoenix Wright, get the trilogy, get a guide, and just have fun with it. You'll beat it in like 2 afternoons.
This visor dude is ridiculous.
Hell yeah. Isn't he awesome? I just showed Ryan a picture of it.
How do you see out of that? What the hell?
Exactly. I'm super excited for Visor Man. It's just, I don't know, it's very playful. Like, it manages to be kind of gruesome. Like, literally, the second case of the game has your boss gets killed.
Yeah.
It doesn't die, but is killed. And you catch the murderer, and then it's like, well, all right, moving right along. It's not like a game-ending reveal or something. It has a lot of character, a lot of heart. The music is just so good.
It's incredible. I like the I can't even describe the intense music that sometimes plays.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm gonna be playing it under this the whole time because it's just I've had these songs stuck in my head since the first time I played this game. Like, it is amazing how good.
If you're making a visual novel, you gotta have good music. If you're doing something like this,
it's exactly. It's got a good like memorable visual style, like the way the courtroom looks. I wanted to also talk about that just in the context of like history and the like whole search for justice thing. They're not specific about when these games take place, or where. I guess they're localized to be less explicitly Japanese. I think that was like something I read somewhere, was that they take out references to places.
I guess. I feel like they've alluded to Japanese culture though, and there's one scene specifically where they talk about how these cases only can last 3 days because of the rise of crime. And I felt like that was a very specific nod, but I can't say for sure one way or the other.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing that they delve into at some point. And it's honestly, it's not even, these aren't really the games where they're going to like have a story about that because they're too busy doing crime stuff, but it might be like a throwaway line where we learn like when they take place. But they kind of take place indiscriminately in like early 21st century regular world, like generic world. Yeah. Because there's like a movie set and there's a courtroom and there's a samurai TV show that the kids like, and there's movie stars. Like, it's just like nondescript, which is kind of cool. Like, you could play this being from any country and you could kind of like feel it doesn't necessarily have to, it's not like Persona where it's like, this is Japan, you know?
Sure.
But you're right though, it does like the way the court works, the whole 3 days thing, the way that you like get your turn, they always have to have a like statement that they say that you have to find contradictions in. I know that's because it's a game, but like I'm just imagining, like, is there a court system where that's, or was there one where that was actually how it works? Because that's what I want to learn, is like where you like present evidence and then they declare that like I did lie about that. It seems really specific. I don't think it's that based in reality. It's too fun for that.
At least not in this country.
Right, exactly. Real court.
Definitely not in this country.
Real court, especially in this country, is much more boring and much more unfair.
Yeah.
But it's a big franchise, so I know like plenty of people have played it, but if you're I don't know, if you're in the mood, I'd say check it out, give it a look. Ryan and I have been enjoying it a ton. We've been like texting each other back and forth for a couple weeks now. Yeah. There's a whole lot of them, and it means a lot to me, and I'm glad I got to chat about it with you.
Here on Chatz,
a television podcast where we talked about a video game for half an hour.
I'm really glad to be I'm really glad now to be part of the Chat cinematic universe.
Oh, the CCU.
Are you ready for the new season of The Flash on CCU?
I have to catch up on Netflix, but I first have to watch all of Arrow, and then I can get into the real CCU stuff, like the deep lore CCU. I've referenced you before. You've like been by name on Chats before, like every week we talk about it.
Yeah, you plug Fireside Friends. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Or else. No, they're both good shows, I think. But yeah. Ryan, where can people find you on the online?
You can find me on Twitter at Talking Detective. I'm taking a break from Twitter, so
hell yeah.
I have my Discord name on there if you want to talk to me about stuff. If you have Discord. Otherwise, I'm not on Twitter much these days. But you can find me on You can find me on Fireside Friends, which is the podcast we do. You can find that at firesidefriends.net. You can find the Twitter for that podcast at Podcast Fireside. Whenever I tweet, it'll probably be from that account. So yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm excited for people to get into Fireside Friends and for people to hear this and let us know what they think.
We got a big archive of stuff. We've covered a lot. And
oh yeah.
I'm excited to keep doing stuff. So yeah.
And we have another one coming soon, so check that feed out. And of course, as always, you can find me over on Twitter at Alan Ibrahim. That's ALLENIBRAHIM. And if you were sad that we didn't start season 2 of the Newsroom yet, first of all, what are you doing? It's the Newsroom. You missed us. That's great. I'm glad. But you missed the Newsroom. I don't know about that.
How many episodes does season 2 have, by the way?
I think 8.
Okay, because I know they get progressively shorter.
Yes.
Which is a great detail.
Just progressively shrinking Sorkin.
Because I looked at season 3 and it was just like a handful of episodes. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. See, it's 10, then 9, then 6.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And then there's no more Newsroom. And then we're fucking free finally. Here's a little bonus. Nobody look at the plot, but go to season 3, episode 6 of the Newsroom on Amazon Instant Video, and just look at the thumbnail, and you get to watch our buddy Jeff Newsroom, looking just the funniest he's ever looked ever. They pull a lot of good screens. Anyways, and you know where to find the podcast. I just wanted to put this one out. It's gonna be a quick and dirty one, so you have something to put in your ears on Sunday. Have a good week, and good night.
Stay woke.
Stay woke. Have a Coke. Tell a joke.